Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be sharing what I learned from Alexander Lau and Gilles Roux at the World Championships 2017. So in case you didn't know, Gilles is the inventor of the Roux method. He's been cubing a long time, but hasn't been active in the community for a couple of years, but he showed up at World Championships and we had a chance to meet, take some pictures, give each other some tips. And Alexander Lau, he's one of the fastest rowers in the world. He has a 7:37 official average, former European record, and he's also not been active lately. He basically stopped practicing, but he showed up to World Championships, and I got a chance to meet him too. So we'll start with what I learned from Alex. So I think the most important thing I learned from him was how to turn under control and make your turning look elegant. Now it's not just for making it look nice, but it also makes it feel nice. Your solves are going to flow a lot better, and you're less at risk for lockups and gaps in your look ahead. So basically, I did some solves in front of him, and he told me I was turning way too quickly and choppily. So I was using a lot of force in my turns, and this was causing me to lock up, turn too fast, and pause. So this is what my turning would have looked like at the time. Something like that. Whereas he showed me what he turns like, and it was a lot more under control. His turns were all very precise, and overall he was using less force in every single turn. It was a little bit slower, and he was just under control the whole time. So his turning would have been something like this, and keep in mind this is just specifically in first two blocks. So his would have been like that wasn't perfect, but I think you get the point. So he actually gave me this tip right before the first round of 3x3. And in case you don't know, in that round of 3x3, I got my 6.86 second national record average. And the whole time I had this in mind, I was just like, okay, I'm going to control my turning, not go too crazy with the TPS, and make sure I don't get any bad lockups, and that really helped me out a lot. What I learned from Gilles is that there's a lot more flexibility in second block than I realized before. I think I had known some of the things he showed me in the past, but I just didn't realize it or I forgot about it. So usually I always think about solving the pieces with like a white bottom. So usually I'll insert the DR edge and then figure out what else happens like that. But, and then sometimes I'll make a line or something like this and solve it. But I didn't realize, or something that I wasn't implementing in my solves, is that say you have this orange edge on the bottom, what you can actually do is pair these and treat it like an F2L pair and leave it like this. Then you can pair the other two up. So it doesn't, you don't always have to think about the solve as having like the down color on bottom necessarily. You can treat it with the front color or the back color. And also that brings me to something else. Instead of always tracking DR edge in inspection, another thing that he showed me is that sometimes putting the back right edge in the DF position lets you pairs the pairs pretty nicely. So here, if say I planned up to here in inspection, I knew this was going to be here. So then I'd bring it down with an M, right? So we have these two both badly oriented, but what you can do is use an F move like that, and then pair them up. So overall, from what I learned from that second block building from Gilles is that there's so much flexibility and a lot of cool things you can do that it can improve your efficiency that I'm really not implementing in my solves. So what I'm planning on doing is slowly experimenting with things, especially in my one-handed solves because I turn a lot slower in one-handed. So that'll give me time to look ahead and plan out what I'm going to do. And then once I can do it one-handed, then it shouldn't be that much of a jump to be able to do it two-handed. Another thing I learned from Alex Lau is that I don't know algorithms. I basically know maybe one to three algorithms for the majority of my CMLLs, and then for the odd couple, I know between like the rest 4 and 8. So I'm planning on learning some more algorithms, but first I want to optimize my CMLLs. There's a few that I've recently found a few algorithms for, or people have shown them to me. So I'd like to learn those first and find the CMLLs that are the absolute fastest for me. And then once I've established that and the proper finger tricks and angles and all that type of stuff and which edges they flip, then I'll be able to expand and work on more edge orientation influencing and potentially some Pinkie Pie, but I'm not sure yet. Although Alex argued that Pinkie Pie is the future of Roux and that it gives low 40 move counts, I'm still not sure if it's something I plan on doing, but we'll have to see. And lastly, something I learned from both Alex and Gilles is that EULR is absolutely vital. So knowing where ULUR edges are and the exact edge orientation case that you get after doing CMLL is very necessary. Like, usually once I do CMLL, I I have a really good idea of what the edge orientation case is going to be. So here, like obviously I'm gonna get an arrow, but I don't really know where the arrow is going to be. So I don't know the AUF that I'm going to have to do, and also I don't know exactly where this edge is going to be. So I know the orange one has to be back here, and this is here, but I don't know if this is going to end up on the tip of the arrow or on the side of the arrow. So usually I'd go into this blind and not knowing where this is going to end up. So what I'm going to plan on doing is making sure I know every single one of the CMLLs, how they affect edge orientation and permutation, so that I have no pause and I can implement more EOLRs into my solves. Thanks for watching.